We want massive new sequels, long-awaited reboots, and fresh new games on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, MetaQuest, and Nintendo. Intense speculation, leaks, and seemingly endless anticipation abound as we await the big reveals of Summer Game Fest 2024. I have looked into all the brand new game rumors, hype, speculation about all the games that people have been talking about and hoping for to bring you this list. Welcome to GameList Plus. I'm Josh, and here are 10 Summer Game Fest 2024 reveals we all want. Beyond this top 10 that are more of a wish list, at the end I will talk a little bit about the titles that are bound to be featured at this year's show. Just to be clear, a ton of the information in this video about the games is speculation and rumor, and should generally be taken with a grain of salt. That being said, let's get started. At number 10, Gears of War 6. This list starts off with a game that we have definitely heard is coming, but has yet to show its face on any level. The Gears of War games are what made me appreciate Xbox gaming beyond Halo all those years ago, when its awesome duck and cover third-person combat came into existence for me. There are heavy hints from people involved that Microsoft will indeed announce the game officially during the Xbox showcase on June 9th. This is a long time coming since Gears 5 came out all the way back in 2019. There is also speculation that the game may feature an open world, which would be a big departure from the original games. Obviously, we can expect better multiplayer gameplay as well with all the advancements in technology since Gears 5. The Gears of War games really have always been graphically super impressive to me, so I'm excited to see what it looks like on Series X. If it looks anything like the incredible graphics in Hellblade 2, we are in for a serious treat. Next up, at number 9, Bioshock 4. The Bioshock games are a beloved series of retro-futuristic first-person shooters that are long overdue for a sequel. It's been over a decade since Bioshock 3 came out. According to a 2019 press release, Bioshock 4 will remain a first-person game, which I feel like it should. In terms of details, there isn't much out there, but there are rumors suggesting it could be set in a city called Borealis in the 1960s, somewhere in the Antarctic. 2K Games has stated that they will have presence at the Summer Game Fest 2024 show, so there is a good chance that we will be getting at least a tease of the long-awaited sequel, or maybe another Mafia game? In any case, it is a perfect opportunity to finally reveal Bioshock 4 to the world. Next up, at number 8, Perfect Dark. Now, if you don't know what Perfect Dark is, basically, all the way back in the day on Nintendo 64, a game came out after GoldenEye 007 that was basically its spiritual successor from the same development team that made GoldenEye 007. It was called Perfect Dark. It was another awesome first-person shooter that never had anywhere near the same level of success that GoldenEye did. Then in 2014, Perfect Dark Zero was released on the Xbox 360, which was a prequel to the storyline in Perfect Dark, but wasn't loved anywhere near as much as the original game for obvious reasons. Then back in 2020, at the Game Awards, they announced that Xbox Game Studios is working on a reboot of the game by showing off a brand new trailer. The trailer was just a teaser and it got people really excited. We haven't seen much about it over the last couple of years, but they have talked about the changes in development companies and the slow progression of getting it off the ground. And some insiders are saying that the game is still in a rough state. Hopefully at the Xbox event on June 9th, we will get an actual glimpse of the gameplay or some kind of information as to when we might actually be seeing this game released, or just something more about it. It's been a long time. Very quickly, if you're enjoying this video, this is the perfect time for you to hit that like button. It really does help my channel a lot. And also don't forget to hit subscribe so you can see all my upcoming videos. At number 7, Dragon Quest XII: The Flames of Fate. This game was announced all the way back on May 27th of 2021 on the 35th anniversary of the Dragon Quest series, which is a full 3 years ago. So obviously the game is still in development, but it is a good chunk of time to delay after an initial announcement. Eugene Horie, the creator of the Dragon Quest series, stated that the turn-based battle system will not be quite the same in Dragon Quest XII, but that it won't completely disappear. We'll just have to wait and see. Rumor has it that this entry in the series may just be the final one, which does make sense, sadly, because Akira Toriyama passed away. He was the creator of Dragon Ball Z, and he also did the character design for all the games leading up to this one. So it might be one of the big reasons that Dragon Quest XII may be the last one. There's also fear that the game was canceled altogether, since Square Enix announced in April that they were changing their development plans after massive financial losses to become more selective. Sadly, all we have to go on so far is the small amount of information from the game's creator and this logo, which is pretty cool. Dragon Quest XII: The Flames of Fate will hopefully get an announcement at Summer Game Fest 2024. If not, we may have reason to actually worry about the fate of this game, which may be up in flames. Next up, at number 6, Metroid Prime 4. Now, Summer Game Fest does not include Nintendo because Nintendo just chooses not to be a part of it, and they do their own separate Nintendo Direct every year. And if there is anything that we want to hear about other than the Switch 2, which we probably won't hear about in June, it's Metroid Prime 4. So Metroid Prime 4 was originally announced at E3 in 2017 when E3 was still a thing. So where is it? I could do a whole video about this subject all by itself. Should I? Let me know in the comments. Some people say that Nintendo should just wait and release Metroid Prime 4 on the Switch 2, while others are ready for the game to come out. I personally fall into the same category of I just want to see that game actually come out. I personally feel like it could be a great crossover title that would be available on the original Switch, then also be available on the Switch 2, much like they did with Zelda Breath of the Wild on both the Wii U and the Switch. Have good graphics and even better graphics. In any case, it is one of the most anticipated Nintendo games in a very long time that actually has been announced, but has been radio silent for a very long time. The rumors are swirling that Metroid Prime 4 is aiming for a release this year, which means that it would be released on the original Switch. Needless to say, June is going to be an interesting month for video game announcements across the board. Even things that aren't announced are going to be newsworthy in this case. There's also a chance that we might see a Metroid Prime 2 remaster, like we saw Metroid Prime remastered last year, which was awesome, but I don't want that to be the one thing that's announced. When it all comes down to it, we definitely want to see Metroid Prime 4. With Nintendo basically saying that they're not going to announce the Switch 2 in June, I just feel like they need to give the fans something big to look forward to. Next up, at number 5, Assassin's Creed Hexe. While we obviously have another mainline title coming along the pipeline in November with Assassin's Creed Shadows, nobody has forgotten about the also forthcoming Assassin's Creed game codename Hexe. Not a whole lot has been revealed about this game yet, other than Ubisoft's Mark Alexis Coates saying that it is a new flagship title in the series that will be a very different type of Assassin's Creed game. How it will be very different remains to be seen, but it certainly looks like it's going to be one of the darkest entries in the Assassin's Creed series so far. We got our first glimpse of it with a little 30-second teaser trailer that definitely feeds into the dark side with its mysterious woodsy setting. Unconfirmed rumors say that the game will be about witches, set in Central Europe during the 16th century witch trials. Very fittingly, the team that was behind Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ubisoft Montreal, is who's working on this game. Here's hoping that we at least get another teaser trailer or some more details and some kind of release window for this upcoming witchy game. Maybe even a title. We'll just have to wait and see. Next up at number 4, God of War Beyond the Realms. Now, I'm just going to say right off the bat that Beyond the Realms is probably not going to be the title of the God of War Ragnarok sequel, or continuation, or a half sequel, or whatever you want to call it. You know, it could be though, because Atreus at the end of God of War Ragnarok does venture away to leave the 9 realms and find the remaining beings that I won't get into. This is all speculation and rumor, mind you. There is nothing solid or concrete that has been announced about another God of War game at all. But there were some big rumors swirling around back in November for a sort of half sequel centered around Atreus. Rumors were also saying that it would be announced by the end of last year, and that never happened. So you never know. But since then, people have noticed job postings popping up from Santa Monica Studios, who are the creators of God of War games, for people that are familiar with God of War gameplay, which suggests that they are working on another title, which only makes sense because it's God of War. It's definitely Sony's biggest exclusive property for PlayStation. It's also been said that God of War Ragnarok was the completion of the Norse storyline, so perhaps the game will be released, but more as a spin-off like Spider-Man Miles Morales or Uncharted The Last Legacy or something like that. Here's hoping that we get some kind of big God of War surprise during Sony's showcase. Next, at number 3, Elder Scrolls 6. Yet again, I will be talking about Elder Scrolls 6, and while the game is still a long way off, there have been some developments since Starfield came out in September. Starfield was released a solid 9 months ago, so you would think maybe Bethesda was ready to give birth to maybe a little bit of new footage or give us some kind of information. We have definitely been anticipating this game for a very long time. It's got to be the most anticipated game of the last 10 years at least, and it's probably going to be another 5 to 10 before we actually see it. But we got a first tease video all the way back in 2018 and absolutely nothing since. So anyway, one encouraging piece of information that did come out is Bethesda has said that there are early playable builds of the game. So there's something out there, we just don't know what it is yet. Hopefully we get at least another teaser trailer with some further information, or perhaps an actual title of Elder Scrolls 6, maybe some gameplay or some version of gameplay. Maybe just tell us where it's going to be set officially within Tamriel. I just feel like we've gotten to the point where any little bit of information of some kind or a visual representation of what we're going to get would be a bone to chew on for the next few years while we wait for this game to actually come out. Next up at number 2 on the list, Resident Evil 9. Capcom has not officially announced anything about this game, but rumors have swirled that the game is further along in development than has been previously stated, and that we may be seeing this title as early as January of 2025. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it would be great. All we have is rumors, mind you, and the most recent one is that it's not going to come out in January 2025 and that we'll have to wait till at least 2026. But you never know. That could be them putting that out there so that people are surprised by the reveal at Summer Game Fest 2024. We'll see. Given the amount of time the games take to officially come out after they have been announced, it stands to reason that we could get some kind of tease at this year's Summer Game Fest. There were leakers claiming that the work on the game had already started all the way back in 2018, so it wouldn't be all that surprising if it did come out pretty soon. Story-wise, Resident Evil 9 has said to be a direct sequel to Resident Evil Village, and is the final part of the trilogy that was started with Resident Evil 7. That might imply that it would remain a first-person game, and I'm personally hoping that it goes back to the third person, much like Resident Evil 4 Remake was. I just prefer that style of Resident Evil game, but in any case, I would be thrilled to see anything about Resident Evil 9, and even more thrilled if it's really coming out in January. And finally, the biggest game announcement that people can't wait for, at number 1, Ghost of Tsushima 2. Will we see Jin in the mainland? Will there be a new hero? Will the game have new mechanics? Could it possibly take place during the second Mongol invasion in Japan? Will the storyline follow the action from the first game or be something entirely new? All of these questions are floating around on the internet, with the biggest question truly being, will we hear about it anytime soon? I can personally say for me, Ghost of Tsushima was the absolute crowning achievement of the PlayStation 4, and it pushed the system to the absolute maximum limit and delivered a breathtaking and amazing experience on every level. The expansion was flawless, and all around Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best games in the last 20 years for me. A sequel is inevitable, and job listings have been posted from Sucker Punch suggesting that work is underway on the next installment in Jin Sakai's amazing story. Ghost of Tsushima was released on PC just this month and is doing incredibly well, with massive amounts of players concurrently playing it. Needless to say, we all want Ghost of Tsushima 2, or whatever it's going to be called. The biggest question is, when will we see it? And hopefully that answer will be revealed in June. So, there you have it. 10 Summer Game Fest 2024 reveals we all want. All the games on the list are big question marks. We may or may not see those. But games we can count on seeing in June are plentiful, like Batman Arkham Shadow. The freshly announced Quest 3 exclusive will be getting more coverage during the MetaQuest showcase. The long-anticipated Dragon Age Dreadwolf will also be revealed. Monster Hunter Wilds will get further coverage following its reveal at last year's show. And we are guaranteed big coverage for all the remaining huge titles that are coming this year, like Black Myth Wukong, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and of course Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, which releases in the month of June and is sure to be the big gaming subject for the rest of 2024. And of course, let's not forget Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, come on, we are definitely in for a treat this summer. 2023 was a huge year for games. 2024 is not devoid of good titles, but it definitely pales in comparison to previous years with tons of huge titles being released. I just feel like we gamers are really ready for the next big wave of major releases and titles to drool over. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Which of these games are at the top of your most anticipated list? What games do you feel like I should have included on this list but didn't? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you want to support GameList Plus directly, you can do so by clicking the Super Thanks button down below. By the way, we will probably also see the PS5 Pro get announced officially in June, but does anyone even want it? I talk about it in this video here. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to all my awesome subscribers, and I will see you guys next time on GameList Plus.
The Mongols have changed you, young master.
The world has changed.